Open volume mixer.
You're
mixing it.
Your system tray. Right
Yeah. You were at 4.
I gotta do this.
Bring me up to 11.
That's just the number of times I cried this week. Come on.
You crazy, man.
Coal ain't that bad. It's going to be a scarce resource one day.
Is that a good thing, maybe?
Yeah, you can sell it for a lot of money.
Or nor.
Oh, no.
Dun, 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 dun.
That should be good there. All right. What's up, stream?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Very good. I think that'll be our first cover as a band.
So, funny story, since I'm still using my gaming laptop, because of the amount of things I have to plug into my USB tower, my computer starts to move so slow that I have to unplug something. And so it has to be my mouse. And so I'm using the trackpad on my laptop up here to do everything.
So if you look like you're... Yeah, there you go.
No, he's DJing.
That's all you're doing.
Hit it, DJ.
DJ Matt.
DJ Matt on the ones and twos.
DJ Matt.
Does anybody have YouTube up? YouTube chat? Just in case anybody...
I don't know what it shows me in this Streamlabs thing. Probably Twitch.
Yeah, I think
it's Twitch.
I think Twitch. Yeah, it won't show us
channel points.
YouTube.
Yeah, I can pull up YouTube.
Just in case.
Chill chat.
Yup, tub.
Just in case.
But I got to give us the view.
No. Well, hopefully it won't blow up your computer. That's all.
YouTube is up.
Just don't blow up your computer, Matt.
No
don't
promises.
blow it up.
I was able to play Rivals on it. I think it was because I uninstalled Baldur's Gate.
I haven't tried yet. I did install it, but I haven't tried to play.
Let the me do your thing.
Everybody had a good holiday though, right? Good.
Yes, sir.
Christmas.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. The only bad thing about this week is that all the college kids were home and using the gym.
Yeah, that sucks.
On the chest fly for 30 minutes doing 2 sets and checking Instagram and Twitter.
Just sitting there.
What was the energy
Dude, can I work
drink,
it?
Matt,
I'm almost done.
that everybody got for you? What energy drink was it?
Bruh. 3D energy drink by Christian Guzman and Alpha Elite.
Sponsor us.
Well,
They're going out of business.
Or it's going out of business.
they're rebranding and reformulating. So to get rid of all
That's
the
what they
other
all
stuff, they send it to dollar stores, and I've successfully emptied $3 stores.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Gonna check the last one in the area tomorrow.
I got a case of Celsius for Christmas.
Yeah, they got Celsius at the dollar store. I didn't know that.
That's good to know. Like, is it like the failed flavors? Like, what is it?
No, it's regular Celsius. I mean, well, to be fair, it's Dollar Tree, so not everything is $1. It's like $1.25 and up. So they might not be $1.25.
But hey,
yeah, like I walked out of the shop with like 12 energy drinks for $13, and I was just like, can't beat that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nice.
Like full size.
All right. Well, what do you guys say? Are we ready to do this?
Cue that music, DJ.
All right. So, stream, anybody that's there, we're getting ready to go here. This is episode 8. We got some good stuff to chat about tonight. So, let's get ready. And I'm sure, just as always, when we start actually playing the music, one of you will drop out. So I'm always scrambling. It literally has happened like the last 3 weeks every single time.
Go ahead and get ready.
Just like, damn it.
Yeah, it was me last week. It's very lonely in the abyss.
In the void.
Purgatory. In the void.
It's like you're all set and then just like black screen. Don't know what to do.
And then when we come back, does it change where we are on your screen?
No. Because I just let you back in and you're fine. It just leaves a little hole where you were, hole in all of our hearts, up on the screen. But all right, here we go. So let me get the audio recording. So let that roll for a second, so we know we're getting the audio. And with that, here we go. Rivals Assemble, episode 8. Yeah, you know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Rivals Assemble, a Marvel Rivals podcast. I am your host, Mark Turcott, and you are tuned into episode 8. Man, if you're anything like me, you were chasing sharks, teaming up with sharks, getting swallowed by sharks, and spit out by sharks all week just to get that nice little snow skin for your Jeff, right? Well, maybe you were also even maybe watching the North America Invitational. I don't know. Or, hey, coming up later here in the show, we're going to be talking about the Doom's Rising lore. So to break it all down with me here, first up, Matt Clark. Matt, what's up, dude?
What's up, everybody? I'm stuffed Christmas and ready to... Oh, I had nothing. I was going to... but that fell apart.
I was like, where are you going with this, man?
Yep. Played plenty of Jeff this week, and it's a different kind of joy and pain, but we can talk more about that.
Oh, lots of pain in there. I really can't wait to talk about this game mode. Let's see. And also joining us here with his red nose and all from up north, Neil. Neil, what's up, dude?
Rivals Assemble. We're here. We're ready to go. Rudolph coming in straight from the North Pole. Ho, ho, ho. Hope everybody had a good holiday, whatever you're celebrating. Some time with family, some time by yourself, if that's cool too, or some time with Rivals.
Yeah. I think we all got a little bit of Rivals in this week for sure. But hey, busy week though. So I know not everybody had tons of time, but I think that's why some of these in-game events, they give us lots of time to get through it all here through the holidays. And also joining us here, Ken's. Ken's, what's up, dude?
How's it going? You guys that are not watching the stream and doing this live, you're really missing out with Neil's outfit tonight. So this should be some incentive to come on over to the Twitch stream. Check that out. But yeah, I'm doing good. I have been traveling for Christmas for the past week. I turned the game on for the first time this afternoon in the past 7 days. I played a little bit of Oops All Jeff, which was great. And we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But, yeah.
For sure. I know poor Neil, he's over here in this Rudolph. What is it called? Is it a onesie? Is that what it is, Neil?
It is a full onesie, yes.
Yeah. Man, you got to be sweating that thing, man.
Let's get a full spin. Can we? There it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you're watching this video, it's I can't even describe what I'm seeing on the screen right now.
It's a reindeer. It's a
my family also has these.
It's exactly what
everyone
you think
has
reindeer
one?
onesie
Yes.
is.
Is this like the Christmas PJs?
It was, but yeah, I don't know if we got a full family shot. We've kind of been staggered on how we're wearing them. So
I love it.
I've been wearing mine the most, though.
A whole family would be too overwhelming.
We did the kids for the parade.
That's great.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's get moving on here, guys. A little bit of housekeeping here as always. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Rivals Assemble. And obviously, here you're hearing us talk about this live feed. If you were watching the show live, either on Twitch or YouTube, or want to see it live, you can do so at Rivals Assemble Pod. And again, big thank you to all our audio podcast listeners. The audio podcast is just skyrocketing in terms of numbers and all that. So thank you guys so much here for tuning into the show. And we can get tens of comments over on Spotify. Best way to leave us comments, definitely over on Spotify. And, you know, I forgot to mention it last week, but we started a poll. So on Spotify, we can actually put polls for the game. And last week, we asked you who was the strongest strategist in the game. And as of right now, Cloak and Dagger and Luna are tied.
Interesting.
So who did you guys vote? I don't even know if I told you guys it was on there. Did you guys vote at all?
I did not vote.
I may have.
Wasn't aware.
So if you had to vote right now to try to break this tie, Cloak and Dagger or Luna? Who's stronger?
See, Neil, this is like a microcosm of America's voting system. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't, and that's
it's rigged.
To do is we're trying to get information to everybody so that they can vote.
There you go. I'd say Luna Snow, but that's just who I am most comfortable with, and love her freeze when I get jumped on by the inevitable Iron Fist. It's good to have that to kind of run away, but Mantis has that too. So, and then my save all team ultimate as well. Lucio power boost healing
Dance party.
Gotcha.
Dance party.
Well,
that's my vote. Did I break the tie?
So you're saying Luna?
I'm saying Luna.
I think I would say Cloak and Dagger, but the real answer here is both, because you need both of them on your team, so you don't just have one strategist.
That's right.
Let's be real.
I think Adam Warlock is the best strategist.
Wasn't an option.
Yeah, I didn't make it end up. So this was pre-invitational, because yes, we're gonna get to all that in the meta in there. My vote, I'm saying Cloak and Dagger, because guess what, guys? I mained Cloak and Dagger to hit gold this week. Oh yeah,
hooray for Mark. Only.
But what did you give up?
Only 8 hours. Let's see. It took me 8 hours. I looked today to see. It was 8 hours in comp, 45 matches, and I think I won 24, and that got me to gold. So, if that was, I mean, some people probably would rise quicker. That was solo queue, and I went in pretty much every time. I would go in with the intentions of playing a strategist, definitely. More often than not, Cloak and Dagger, but I wouldn't lock them in right away. I would pick them so they can see it, because that seems kind of how comp goes. Everybody kind of highlights somebody, and everybody kind of feels everybody out. And there was actually only a handful of matches that I didn't play Cloak and Dagger, because I just either had to play somebody else or somebody had already locked them in. But yeah, so
do they have bans for you yet there, way up there in gold? No,
no, that's not until Diamond,
I think. Yeah, and I also did learn too that the game will derank you if you don't play, but that's in the higher Grandmaster tier. So, doesn't matter.
No more,
at this point.
Worry about that.
Then not so. When I get there, then I'm gonna have to worry about that. But yeah. Tomorrow when I get there, it'll be fine. But
so Moon Knight's your next main. That you got that fancy skin.
I got the fancy skin. That's right.
You don't get the fancy skin until the end of the season.
No, and it goes by your highest, as long as you achieve it. So I could literally just play and fail every single game and go all the way back to bronze, but you still get it. They always, like, whatever the highest rank you achieved, you'll get the rewards. So, So people out there, it's possible. Just go strategist, because that's what teams need. Trust me. Oh, look at Matt. He's over there saying it's not possible. I promise you can do it, man. You can do it.
Oh,
I'm
sure
no
I could do
Vanguard.
it. Not worth it. Not worth it.
I'm gonna try. We'll see. I got what, 1 week left?
Ooh.
2? 10 days I think left.
I'm gonna try to.
Just,
I got a mad
just
push.
under 2.
All right, get my sweatbands on. We'll get there.
Real quick here too. So the next Spotify poll. So if you're listening to this, hopefully on Spotify, you can vote. We're gonna pick the strongest Vanguard in the game, and we're gonna only give you 5 choices for that. We're giving you Doctor Strange, Penny.
How many Vanguards are there?
Venom, 7. Groot and Magneto. We're keeping Cap and Hulk off. I don't know why.
Well, Hulk would automatically win. He's the strongest of everyone.
I guess.
But,
spammiest. So go in there and vote, and we'll read the results on the next podcast. So, all right, dudes, let's move on here to some of the news in our news segment that we call the Not So Daily Bugle News.
J. Jonah Jameson here.
All right. Well, this is, I'm going to say it's newsworthy. And that's really just because, hey, the Winter Celebration is out. Last week we talked about it. I think it was launching the night we recorded the podcast. We didn't have time to give our thoughts and feelings on this new Jeff's Winter Splash Festival mode. But it's out. So did you guys get your skins yet? Did anybody get the skin?
Oh, yeah.
Played like 4 games, so not yet.
So not yet.
Ken's at maybe more than I think I played maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do give you dailies, of course. It's kind of how all these things work. So you have to go in there, and based on every single day, you get one that will give you like a gold currency. I forget what they call it. within the Jeff missions, but then there's also the challenges that come out every 2 days. One of those will give you a gold as well. And redeeming 2 of those for one of the little ornaments, if you want to say, on your greeting card, give you 100 points. So basically you have to do that 5 times to get the skin. So I basically just played, every day, just knocked out what I needed to do to get those. So I did get the skin. Matt, being that you played, got the skin, what's your experience with the Winter Splash mode?
I loved it. If I had to sum it up in one word, the Oops All Jeffs mode is enchanting. The music alone was like, this is what video games is supposed to be. This is what I want. It's actually on the Rival soundtrack that they released, and I was just like, wow, this sounds very like Christmas at Hogwarts, and I don't know, very magical, if you will.
I didn't put that together. That's right. That is the Jeff song that's on there.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and I was like, it's odd that this is on here, because there is a victory screen where he sings the Marvel Rivals theme, which is hilarious if you haven't listened to it. It's a big trending sound on TikTok as well now. But I was like, wow, where are we going to hear this? But yeah, it's just this magical winter holiday themed music as you're, playing too many Jeffs. And it's a different kind of sweaty, because you have people who are there to like hardcore be like, I'm going to kill sharks, and I'm going to knock out sharks. And then other people who are focusing, if you haven't played, the mode is basically you are using your stream to paint the small map, which is an Eagsguard map. Yep. Your color is blue, the other team is red or pink, whatever, depending on what your color settings are. And so you're like painting the ground. I hear it's like Splatoon. I never played Splatoon.
It is Splatoon.
And like they can spray over yours and whatever. But also when you use your ultimate, it paints a huge area. So the huge whirlpool area, wherever you ult, automatically becomes your color. And so there are people who are hardcore focusing on painting, other people who are just hardcore like knocking each other out. And then I've never seen so many concurrent Jeff ults. I think the most I've seen has been like 6, one after another, and just people swallowing the ult and swallowing the ult and swallowing the ult.
So you can swallow a shark full of people?
Yeah.
Altception? Sharkception?
Yeah. And you could swallow
Jeffception.
Kenz's Jeff that swallowed Mark's Jeff.
And then does the timer reset on how long they're stuck in there?
No.
Like, I guess they can't get out early though, right?
No, you can't. No, it's. I'd be interested to see what I've never looked at like the HP bar, because the longer you're inside the Jeff as they move, your HP goes down.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see what that mechanic is. But yeah, it's all dependent on whoever that last Jeff is. And so it's kind of like depending on who you match with. There's some people who I think have played so much of this that they're just, it's kind of like any kind of gamer. They're just out to disrupt the fun. But then there's some chill matches where we didn't hit combat at all, and it was just everybody trying to paint as much as they could. And I was just like, this is so pleasant.
Happy little sharks.
Well, yeah.
If I had to explain it in one word, I would probably say infuriating. And that I say that
so
because as much as I like Splatoon, like on the Switch and even the Wii U, the reason I never really got big into it was for exactly the reason. Like, I just get so frustrated looking at the progress bar. It drives me bananas because I feel like no matter what I do, like, it's always going to be pretty close. Now, granted, sometimes you have matches. What?
So you're willing to look at and keep track of the progress bar, But, Your Honor, if we can roll back the tape from last week, you're unwilling to keep an eye on
The kill feed, no, because it's in a
kill
terrible
board.
spot. It's in the worst spot ever.
That's top right. of the
It's
screen.
literally, Mark.
That's why you
it
gotta
is
turn the
literally
sound
like
on.
3 inches.
Nope, it's not.
There.
I don't like it.
It's literally just going.
Yeah, but it's not where I'm looking in the screen. I don't like it. Anyways.
Anyway, continue.
Anyways, I don't know what it is about those game modes. So, but Matt, you saying some people are in there to disrupt the fun. I think it's people like me who are just like, hey, I just got to knock out this mission where I got to kill 10 sharks to get the daily mission. It's all I care about. I don't care if we win right now because I'm not working on the win mission, and I'm just in there having to kill 10 sharks.
All
And I
business.
have to play this
I
game
think
mode.
It's even
3
it's even more
times,
than that
like-
because it's like I think that's the mission that you have to do is get 10 or 12 kills. I think it's
It was
12
12.
kills.
It might have been 12. yeah.
Swallow. You have to swallow 12 people, but then you have to kill 6 with the ult. I think it was
And then there was
But,
like win
some
one
people
match, win 3
getting out of matches, and some people
play
having like
3 times.
17, 18 kills, and it's like, but why? Why?
Well, but for the strategy of it, when a shark is dead, they can't paint. So
It's
that's
not
kind
gonna
of
You're not alive,
yeah. If you're not
Yep.
alive, you can't. There's nothing.
when
to
you're
paint.
not conscious,
knocked out,
Unconscious, knocked out.
knocking out sharks.
when you're sleeping.
So I don't know. I like it in terms of like I like that they're doing this. Like never in a million years would I've thought any mode like this would ever exist in this game
fantastic.
ever. It's perfect character, perfect everything. I just don't have a lot of fun playing it, just because I just don't like the game mode. I don't know. I mean, Ken's, you've said before here you're a huge
Yeah.
or you really like Splatoon. That was like a game you played a lot. Like, what did you think when you dipped into this? Like, did you
It's
like it?
Splatoon. It's great. Yeah, it's. I feel the same. I didn't play it. I don't think I've played it as much as you guys because I just literally played it today. But I had a really good time when I was in there. I was like, I need to play like a real game, and then I was thinking like, man, I just want to go back and play Jeff again. This is also my first time ever playing Jeff is playing this game mode. I've yet to.
Oh,
see
wow.
It's such a
him
good introduction.
at
to
all.
It is, yeah.
And it was like, I had a choice. I guess I'm gonna play Jeff. Yeah, I thought it was great. I think even in like Splatoon, some of the kills in Splatoon are really cheap. Like you think you're doing great, and all of a sudden you get smacked in the face with a roller and just get one hit. And so it's kind of like that too. You know, it's like you. It's not fair, but it's fun.
there are some weird inconsistencies with damage in this mode. I will say that because I feel like sometimes the stream does more damage than the
Yeah. I've had a lot of
Pew
people
pew,
like
the
yeah,
Jeff
just
pew?
focus you with
This-
the stream. Yeah.
I almost said the Haktua, but that's
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, we get it.
but
For me, oh god.
no, go ahead, Neil.
Oh, for me, just a few games I played with the Haktua move. It's again, this
Jeff,
is
I
my
did not mean to start this as a precedent. I
Haktua.
did not mean to start this.
the that load up to releasing the projectile really throws me off. Like you click, but then it doesn't actually shoot for a little while, and then there's the travel time of the bubble going. So I mean, it's good practice with Jeff. I have not really played Jeff either in the real.
I was just
game.
holding the button down and
The
just
bubble mechanic is different in this mode. I will say that it does not. In normal conquest and domination, you can spit it like you can launch it, and
Keeps going.
have a timer on it. This, I think, it has like a 2 or 3 second timer,
Oh, so it's different.
and if you
Oh,
don't
okay.
use it, it pops. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then with the stream, does that do damage in the normal game, or it's just a healing thing?
Yes, but not. I believe so, but it doesn't. It's like nominal.
yeah, not
Like
as
you
much.
wouldn't use that as a form of damage. That is honestly just. I don't consider myself a Jeff main, but he's probably
You're the
one of
expert.
my
Jeff,
top
here.
3 characters that I played
Oh.
because I don't think I have a main. But
There you go.
you're the pew pew mode is what you want to.
For damage.
That's kind of like Luna's fire, how it can heal, or like cloak and dagger, or
Right.
dagger
You
specifically.
could do both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it does both.
And the other thing I noticed when I was trying to ult people and throw them off the ledge, I would do it not at the big open cliff side. I do it at the opposite side where the stairs are, and it goes up a little bit on that one side.
Yeah.
And you see the opening just above that little wall. I'm like, okay, yeah, I could spit a guy out right there. It's an invisible wall. So I've done it a couple times. You try and shoot the
there's
guy
an invisible wall
outside
there.
the wall. There's a wall. You cannot shoot him outside. So use your ult.
Yeah.
You gotta go all the way. It's not that far, but you gotta go along the width of the map.
It's a quick 5 seconds.
Shot over there and still lived.
Quick, just quick tips I would give people is there's always like, depending on the side you're on, it's either on the left or on the right. As soon as you spawn, there's that one like back corner. Always clear that, because sometimes people won't do that. So you'll find like nobody painted it and it's a huge, massive area nobody's touched. And then the other tip is go to the enemy team and do that area, because a lot of times they're pushing forward and they're not even like thinking to paint that because it's behind them. So like we can clear that. And sometimes I've won some games just because we just happened to paint that and they didn't. So
so Mark, you say the bar stresses you out. If you see that you're losing, are you gonna work harder? Or
yeah, I mean,
does that go into your gameplay?
But that's the thing is sometimes
work
like
hard
I don't
as hard as you can the whole time.
I just don't feel like sometimes like when you see you're losing like 85-15, it's like, well, what am I gonna do now? Like we're
gotta
done.
go find a spot on the map, hit your ult, start painting.
But sometimes it doesn't feel like it does anything, man. I don't know.
Looking for a reason to give up.
But you know what? Guess what? I got the skin. I don't care anymore. I'm not even touching.
It doesn't make
anymore.
sense to my brain that you would rather sweat in comp than play this little fun shark game.
I'd rather have what did I go? I sent you guys that one thing. It was like 35, like 8 and 50 as Cloak and Dagger in that one match. I had like almost 40,000 healing because it was just like this nonstop. It was 4 rounds, dude. It was like we did, both teams 3-3, and then we went boom boom and went again. It was ridiculous. Some of those comp matches get nuts. But let's talk about some of the cosmetics.
So low, like the air has smelled cleaner. Like my hairline isn't thinning anymore. I feel since I've been playing this mode. Like it's great.
Ugh. I do like some of the cosmetics though. The Jeff MVP screen is one of the is top tier MVP screen in this game. It is amazing where he makes the little snow shark, and then at the end, like the way the music hits, like he opens his mouth with the snow shark. It's great. It's lovely. It is perfect. I absolutely love it.
So once you've unlocked the skin, I saw it has a special event comic book or whatever in the collections. Is that unlocked for you now? It's just like a blank page and it says from the Jeff event.
I don't know.
It doesn't show anything.
I haven't noticed.
Oh, maybe it'll be at the end of the event then, and it'll like be your Christmas card or whatever.
Oh, I bet you that's what it'll be. It'll probably be our Christmas card.
That
would make sense.
Shout out to all our Jewish listeners in the midst of Hanukkah right now.
Yes. Happy holidays.
And with the card unlocks you're doing, you say you do two gold cookies or whatever they are, ornaments. And then that unlocks like snowflakes. There you go. That unlocks a part you can customize, and there's 5 or 6 you said?
Yeah, it'll give you like the tree, and then there's like the background, and then there's like a snowman, and then the little silver snowflakes ones let you customize those individual things once you've unlocked them.
Right.
So. Yeah, you can. My favorite thing was picking the setting of your card, because it's basically pick like the skyline in the background. Yeah. And it's all the different maps, and so I chose Clintar. It's this fun little snow scene with Jeff and a Christmas tree, and it's on Clintar.
Give us the Venom, the symbiote Jeff skin, you cowards.
Happy holidays.
What do you think now? So we also have the other skins in the game. So they've originally launched the Groot, and who is it? Groot and
Rocket.
That's right. We're the first ones. I was this close to buying the Groot one, but I was like, I don't know.
You still can.
I know, but I'm just close. But then today they launched yesterday, the Venom and Magic skins, and it should be noted the Venom skin costs them a little bit more than the other 3. You notice that? I think they know what they're doing.
He's got all that cape.
Yeah. I think it's an up tier on their. They call it rarity, but really it's cost.
Yeah,
it's legendary or whatever instead of rare.
Yeah,
but.
Oh, okay.
You can get it if you buy it.
So is his the only one that's...
His is 2,200. I think everybody else is 1,600. But it looks pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite one is the Venom one.
Man. Especially when he's on, when you pop his ult and you see him kind of sliding on the ground, and then he pops up. Oh man, it looks great. It looks really good. So good. I'm on the fence. I'm thinking about it.
I'm just thinking about it.
But see, I don't play Venom enough, so that's why I'm kind of like, I actually like the Venom Space Knight too. I even thought about that.
Yeah.
I'm a Venom main, so I went ahead and bought it just because I'll get so much use out of it.
Of course. All right, so there it is about the winter celebration thoughts. I'm interested to see next year when it comes back, because I would assume it's going to come back next year. Like, I love when like games like this do that, where the events come back, and then are we going to get different skins, or are they going to sell the same skin? So we'll see what they do. But
I think it would be fantastic to incorporate like different holiday stories and things like that, and just do like a Jeff's storybook, or I don't know, like you could do 'Twas the Night Before Jeffmas, or just weird stuff like that. Give us like the Nutcracker Suite and like a Rat King Jeff, or a Nutcracker Jeff.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Stuff like that.
That'd be cool. All right, let's move on here to the Marvel Rivals North American Invitational. So this was last weekend. They had a little streamer event, kind of went Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Bunch of teams lined up. Spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know who won this, fast forward 15 seconds. It was Nightmare. They got the win. And what do you guys think? I think overall, I mean, we had, I think during the alpha and the beta, they kind of had some events. But now, since the game is out, this was the first big coming out party for competitive Rivals. And, it's kind of interesting to see how big this game is. I mean, you go on Twitch right now, all the big streamers are playing it, right? I mean, even like Dr. Disrespect, I saw playing it, like Stroud, Tim the Tatman, all those big guys. So there's so many eyeballs on this game right now. And so this was the first big event to say, hey, we want to be an esports or an esport. We want to make that push. Do you think this game or this event kind of showcased what this game could be as a competitive game? Anybody? Matt, you probably tuned in the most.
Yeah. I did watch a lot of it. It was my cardio viewing while I was at the gym during the weekend, and so I had some nice time to just walk there and and watch. There is 100% the potential for it. I think because of how dynamic the team ups can be, and how creative players are able to be with their abilities, the sky's the limit for it. I think it was a great trial for Rivals to dip their toe into what the professional scene could be for this game. And Nightmare is a relatively new team. I believe they do Valorant, Overwatch, with Face It League, and maybe something else, but I'm pretty sure they're a very young company. So to see them go in on this was super cool. And really dynamic plays and good players.
So Nightmare was the team that actually won the open tournament in the beta as well. And I watched two matches, the first and the last, and it was the same two teams playing, Nightmare and I forget what the other team was called, but they won it handily. They were wiping the floor with these guys, doing really well. And one thing that happened with the first thing, this being an online tournament, they had a player from the other team disconnect, and so they were down 6-5, and they just kept going. It might have been right at the end of the second last match, and they were disconnected, but they went ahead with the last match, and they never reconnected, so they were down 6-5. So they had basically no chance to.
That's crazy. They didn't stop it.
Well,
no, they just went.
I don't want to cut you off there, Neil, but that I think shows. I don't want to say that they weren't ready for it, but I think that to me was kind of for me personally, the takeaway. I enjoyed watching it. It was cool to see. But it was I think maybe I was hoping for maybe a more professional presentation for the first outing. And I hate to say that because this really seemed like it was a trial for all the casters. Like they're trying to find their voice, right? And being someone who's watched Overwatch League and you watch that. And again, I know the money that they put into that, and it took them years to get to where they were. But it's like, man, like this was your first chance. And like to have something like that happen, it was like they didn't know what to do, right? Probably, Neil, is what it was. Like they didn't know how to handle that because nobody
going ahead
had talked about
I think
that.
it's interesting as well because do we know how long the connection window is for if you do DC before
like
it
in
replaces
in the normal game.
I've had in a comp match in the beginning
whether
where
it's different in comp versus
I've had people in comp like almost from the get-go either leave or whatever, and we've been in a match kind of sitting there on Clintar waiting, like playing defense. Yeah. And then the game suddenly went like bloop, somebody disconnected, the match is over. Yeah. Like it just ended the match. Now,
wow,
the tournament might be different, and I don't know what mode they're playing. I mean, I think
probably a custom, right?
But maybe, but I think like right now the tournament is running, like as we're recording this, like the in-game tournament, and you can go in and watch those matches. So I think your faction, like if you've signed up for that, your faction, I think it plays through that tab in the game. Like you're not just creating a custom. Like it's setting that up. So I would assume that would have the same rules as comp, but maybe not. Like I was
watching our friend Nick playing last night. He was doing comp. He was on PC. His entire game shut down in the middle of a comp match. He had to wait, reopen the game. Shaders had to adjust and download again. Yep. And once it got open, he was able to reconnect back into the match and finish out the match. But is that going to be the same in, like, did he do it in a specific amount of time?
Probably.
Before they would have, because like in Overwatch, if somebody leaves, it's no join.
Yeah.
Like you are SOL for the rest of the match. And if it's within, what is it, the first little bit of the match, if somebody leaves, like they'll just cancel the match or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll say that like in comparison to Overwatch and the biggest esports that I got into was Halo. And this being an online tournament versus a LAN in-person tournament is a big thing. And so I think that, eventually, because if that's the case in this, that it would have been, it'd still potentially be an issue, but it would have been a lot less of a chance for that to happen if it was a LAN tournament.
Right.
And so I think that hopefully they can get to that, and we'll probably see a pretty big uptick in quality if they go that route.
Yeah, I mean, those events are always different, like the in-person too. I mean, you even hear like the Halo players and all that will always say that, like, can't wait to get back to a LAN event because these online events, like they just feel it when they play, right? When you play up on that level. But yeah, it was interesting either way, just to see it. And I do, after watching it, the sky's the limit with this. I really think if they can really, hone it in and figure out, I don't want to say figure out the presentation because the in-game tools are fantastic. It's like everything is there. Everything you want for this game is there. I think they just gotta, I don't know, maybe just really dress this thing up. And I can't wait to see that. Like, I really can't wait to see an in-person event. Like, and I don't know where it's going to be, but like, I'm like, I told my wife, I was like, whenever they do that, we're going. Like, I want to be there for that.
We're going.
Like, it's going to be great. So
I think it's a great proving ground and opportunity to form like specific casters for this game, because part way through the first day, I don't know if this was originally the plan. They brought in Jake, most known from being Overwatch player turned like full-time caster, and they kind of like broke up the pairing that they had, and I don't know either of these players or casters, so I'm not sure what their experience was with it, but it seemed like he was able to help elevate each of them individually, and kind of like, I don't know, just like help the presentation of it. Not to say that, it's just like, oh, it's this guy and he made it look good. But any type of high caliber or high quality talent that you're bringing in to help, I just kind of, I don't know, lift it all. It was it was a drastic. It didn't feel like an esports competition until I heard his commentary, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and to be fair, a lot of the commentators they had were, I don't want to say novices. They've casted things before, but we're starting out. And like I said, to me, it was almost seemed more like a trial for the casters. Who's gonna be the voices for Rivals?
Yeah.
And I think everybody had an opportunity. I mean, that's super cool in itself that they were allowing these people to come in and essentially do trial runs and be like, hey, are you the one that we're going to run with? And then even today, like I said, the Marvel Rivals Championship, it's underway right now, the in-game tournament, the Season 0 tournament. They had different casters today. I didn't see those. Whoever the people were today, they weren't the ones I saw last weekend. So it seems like there's even more people that are given the opportunity to, which I think is pretty cool. Neil, or go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Neil, I know were talking a lot about the different meta comps in that you saw in the game. What were some of the big team ups and things like that you were seeing in those matches?
It was, well, again, it was just the two teams that I saw, but I assume that the other ones went kind of similarly. Hella was like a big ban all over the place. I assume that team up with Thor and Loki would be probably popular if they allowed it. It seemed like everyone was going with the resurrection abilities because Warlock, Star-Lord, Mantis was the one that I'm pretty sure every game they had it that I saw, and it was just for that extra res from Star-Lord and Mantis. And then Warlock with that ult to res everybody was pretty much huge. And then another one I saw once, there was I think it wasn't that one got banned, but maybe it was another one. They brought out the Hulk, Iron Man, Strange team up as well. Hulk giving Iron Man the extra gamma damage and all that stuff. It seemed pretty good for the maps with open airspace where Iron Man can be flying around.
Yeah,
it was. I think there was an interesting couple of matches where, for a while, both teams were running like the quick res, matches, and so it was like complete matched teams up against each other, player for player, character for character. And then after kind of like butting heads, it became, okay, well, now we're going to ban, like Star-Lord, or we're going to ban Loki, so they could break it up. Because it was just, it was so sweaty. And I've never, like, the excitement and just the way matches would swing from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
Those quick reses was crazy.
Yeah,
awesome.
They got really close to capturing that point, and then the game just turned around. The one guy on Nightmare was really good. One of their DPS players, he just rocked it with Star-Lord in that first game.
Yeah, I watched some of that.
Disgusting.
It's just like, it looks like an aimbot. It's like it's just constantly locked on.
That's great.
Report.
Well, and that's what makes me wonder. Like when we enter season 1. I mean, we know the team ups are going to shift. I mean, I would assume they're going to. I mean, we're in season 0. Are they going to continue these team ups? We know they're going to change every season. Are they just going to say, because it was 0, we're going to move them into season 1? But like even the seasonal buffs, and as you're adding new characters to the pool, like this game, I really feel the meta is going to just go drastic swings all over the place, more so than almost any other esport like out there. Like you think of a game like Overwatch, their heroes come out so sporadically. The game's been out how many years? 7 years, 8 years, whatever it is. And you only get a hero. I mean, now the cadence, of course, with Overwatch 2, they've upped it more so than they ever have before. But
a couple times a year,
and we talked about
every
it
other season, right?
Every other, I think they're doing right now, right? But like, what are they going to do in terms of the competitive side of this? Like, if they're going to continue, like what's happening with the Marvel Rivals Championship, the Season 0 Championship, that's an in-game tournament. So theoretically, like when new heroes come out, those heroes will be playable within that tournament. It's not going to be like we talked about with like Overwatch League, where they wouldn't add, or even comp in-game, they wouldn't add the new heroes to comp. But like, are they going to do that in here? Are they going to abandon those heroes until things kind of shuffle out? Or is that the point? It's like, hey, you want to be good at this game, you're 6 players, your team, or 8 players with 6 active and a match at once. Like, get good, bro, with everybody and know who to play. Like it's not
a live game.
Yes.
It's the season, right? It's comes with everything. I think the big bans are you want to stop a team up, you got to stop I don't know if it's called the anchor or whoever, that one character on the left side that enables the team up. If any of the ones on the right side are picked, they have the passive bonuses anyway, so they theoretically should be stronger that season. And they call it season of bonuses, so I assume that that's not going to stick around for next season. But it's right around the corner, so we'll just have to wait and see.
We shall see. Let's see. We also, moving on here, we got a new Dev Talk. This is the 9th Dev Talk coming from the team. I don't know if this was Guan, but this was some of the team here. Talking about the luxury battle pass. And so there's been a lot of discussion. We talked about it here on the show about the fact that all the chrono tokens that you get, so doing your daily missions and your challenges and that, they give you those chrono tokens to purchase things within the battle pass. And if you don't spend those and you hold on to those tokens at the end of the season, they're going to go away. Now you can, with Lattice, which is the premium currency, you can buy more chrono tokens. So you can actually, let's say you get just to the point where you're like, I don't want to do these daily missions or the season's getting ready to end. You can just spend Lattice, get the chrono tokens, buy things in that battle pass. But, and I don't know why you would do this, you can essentially buy more chrono tokens right now with Lattice than there would be chrono tokens to use within the battle pass. And so the fear was, if I'm spending real money, which on the Lattice, to buy, let's say, too many chrono tokens, and then the battle pass, the season ends, and even though you can still use that battle pass in the upcoming season, all those chrono tokens would theoretically go away. So what they've decided to do is protect those unused chrono tokens purchased with Lattice. However, if you do not complete a battle pass by the season's end, they will auto-complete it. So there will be automatic item redemption of whatever chrono tokens you have. Anything left over from those chrono tokens, if they were purchased with Lattice, they're going to try to allow you to carry those over. Now, this is very confusing, and I know I'm even confusing myself as I'm talking about this. So I'm going to read an example, and this is what they put in the dev chat. They say, let's say you spend a total of 1,000 Lattice to secure 1,000 chrono tokens in the current season. Then the season ends, and the automatic item redemption is completed. Here's what happens if 500 chrono tokens remain, then those 500 chrono tokens will be retained for the next season. If 1,500 chrono tokens remain, then the 1,000 purchased chrono tokens will be retained for the next season. So I guess it's just ones that you bought with your own money are going to carry over. Is that kind of what that's saying?
Yeah, because you bought 1,000, so those will stay, but the ones earned the extra 500 will
Correct.
not. What I don't understand is why they allow you to buy them in different denominations. How they do the Lattice and blue tokens, whatever they're called, to buy skins. They're just like, oh, you don't have enough blue tokens. Do you want to use your Lattice to finish this off? That's what they should do when you go to buy the piece of the battle pass. Oh, you don't have enough. Do you want to just use your Lattice as chrono tokens? Because it's one Lattice to one chrono token, correct?
Right. It's one for one.
Just like one. Yeah.
Is that the same in Canada, or is it like
No. It's
1.5 Lattice to one chrono token?
That's terrible.
So I have some experience with this. I had 380, and I needed 400 to unlock the final frame of the battle pass. And I had, an odd number of Lattice, so I said, screw it. 20, right? 20 little Lattice. And when you click it, it says, do you want to buy 20 Lattice? And I said, yes, but there's a plus and minus there too. So I could have purchased more, but it only said just the 20. It didn't say like 500.
Okay. So it's not in like set 500,000.
No. So it knew I only needed 20. Now, granted, that was only me saying for that one thing. It said like, hey, you only have 380. Do you want to buy 20? And I said, yeah, but there was a plus minus. So I could have bought more, but it's like, why would I ever buy more? I'm literally buying the final piece of the battle pass.
Yeah.
So I don't know what crazy person out there.
Wow. So you're like pay to win. You don't want to just like play the game.
Well, but I didn't win with that, Matt. But
sure.
I do win in comp, Matt. Did I tell you I'm
whatever
gold?
you need to tell yourself.
Did I tell you I'm gold though, Matt? I did tell you that, right?
For
the one thing is, these leftover chrono tokens that you've bought, you can use them in future season passes, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
why else would you
Or
buy it?
technically, I guess if you no, because it should see that's the thing. It should auto redeem everything else in that battle pass if you wanted to.
And then you would have left. Or what are you going to do if they let you keep
Right.
it if you can't use it for anything else? So it must be. The other thing is they call it luxury battle pass, and I was confused with this when I first went to buy it. Is there's a premium luxury battle pass? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And then a luxury premium luxury battle.
And you
Yeah, and that's the
acquire-
one that
Oh my
gives you
God.
extra skips and 20% more generation. It's like, hey, you don't have enough time to unlock everything, so pay us more money. And anyway, I feel like that should be just the naming of it is.
I feel like
confusing.
I've just sat through a lesson in biochemistry. I don't know what is going on. This is just way over
Shark
my head.
has
Just give them
17
your money,
apples.
everything's fine.
It's the John C. Riley, Matt Brule thing was just like with the hair.
Yes,
looking
that
around
is
that
me
gif.
right now.
It's exactly
Jeff
what it
the
is.
Shark is riding on a train. How
This
long will
should
it take
not
him
be
to
that
get
complicated.
Too many currencies, too many problems.
I mean, and the beauty,
Too
the
many
best part about
currencies.
this is like they said we've listened to feedback. Like they didn't even think of this like ahead of time. That's kind of the funny thing. Like they actually had to come out and like try to explain this, and it's like, okay, I guess you did, but like, why are we even doing this in the first place? Like, I don't know.
Was way
Well,
too
that
much.
was
well.
the TikTok discourse on this. I think I might be the most on TikTok here. Correct me if I'm
Definitely
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
on the TikTok.
Well, at least for 2 more weeks, we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes. But it seems that there were a lot of players that didn't even know that there were restrictions on some of them. Which, I mean, granted, we have been diving into the details and we have been checking out these dev talks and making it, our goal, our mission, or whatever, to know
Right.
about all this
It's our
stuff.
thing, man.
We are the nerds, all right. But I think maybe
you
it
don't
was
have
that
to be?
confusing, and that's why they addressed it. Not that they did any better at explaining it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I get why it's going to go away, right? Like, because like right now I completed it. I could continue playing those missions every single day, earn chrono tokens, and then by the time the next battle pass comes out, buy it and then immediately have tons of chrono tokens, right, to redeem everything. And that's not what they want. So I get why it's going away. I don't know. It
They want
just
you to
seems-
keep playing in all this, and they say that straight up in that dev talk is like the idea is we want you to redeem it during the season and then buy the next one when that comes out.
get
in
all the
next
new flashy
season,
stuff. Yeah.
right? Because they want you to feed that addiction.
And that's a free to play
Goodness,
game, right?
Log
That's
in all
just-
the time.
Couldn't a
There you
simpler
go.
solution be to like there is a limited amount of chrono tokens that you can earn?
Yes.
And that once you have earned them all, you no longer earn them until the next season, and you can earn them again.
Yeah.
Well, do you think people would stop playing because it's like, oh, I'm not getting anything?
Well, you're not going to be able to use it anyway. So what's the
Maybe
difference?
they don't even know that. They're like,
But
oh
this-
yeah, purple stuff.
Does that? Yeah. Is it just kind of like the simple fact? And you're the psychologist, Kens. Is since there's there is that instant gratification. It's like even though there is something that I will not be able to use, I'm getting something out of it.
Yeah, and I absolutely think that's what it is, and I hate it.
Well, but that's why I've always said too, like, I just like to just let me play. Like, I don't even want to, like, I'm sure like in Overwatch, those season passes, yeah, there's the daily stuff that give you more XP, but like just by playing a match and winning a match, I just get XP towards the battle pass. Like, just give me a bigger tiered pass and I'm just watching the little bar go up, even though I hate watching it in the Jeff mode. But like I'm watching the XP bar go up just by playing and I'm unlocking. So why do we even have chrono tokens? Let me just play the game, right? Like that. I don't know. That's one thing that I've always been like, just let me play. So every match that I play, and that keeps me playing because I'm working through it. And then like in Overwatch, they have those high tier titles, like, hit level 105, 110, 120. You're getting these titles in game. And so that keeps you playing. Cause like if you see a little title that you want, or
I think
something like
it kind
that.
of goes back to the fact that this battle pass is completely, to my understanding, unlike other battle passes out there because you have to unlock
It's like Helldivers.
Helldivers.
Everything at a
does
time.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what Helldivers kind of like was the first. Maybe it's not the first, but it's the
This is
first.
the first
like,
one that I
big
know.
one that I've
Halo,
ever
right?
seen. Yeah.
I thought Halo did it.
No. I mean, Halo had
Halo
it to
still
where you
had
can
that.
only rank up through challenges. Like they didn't do like they do now, but in the beginning of Halo Infinite, like it was like you play a match and you get nothing unless you completed like a certain challenge.
And it was still a bar you just watched fill
Yeah.
like as you leveled up.
Okay.
You weren't like buying the piecemeal kind of the things that you wanted. But yep, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It always seems like these games put out a battle pass and then like they just kind of iterate and change it as the seasons go on. And hey,
At the end of the day, none of us are forced to buy the battle pass.
right.
So it's like we are choosing to subscribe to this.
And-
so if we don't
and-
like it.
They're listening to the players, right? That's that. If anything, it may be confusing right now, and it is what it is. But like they're listening to players, and they're trying to make changes to listen to that feedback. So that's a good thing. At least.
Well,
they
I
take
have
away.
some other feedback. It's not in the show notes, but the
Uh-oh.
Captain America skin and the Hawkeye skin
Yeah.
are going away, right?
They already
They're
are
gone.
gone.
They're already gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that at all, especially since they had said that they weren't going to play off of FOMO. And the whole battle pass thing, I get. Like, I can kind of come around on that, but it's like you've got skins that are going to be sitting there in the shop that you've taken away. I don't know, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Well,
No.
if you want Ken send it, I'll put on the Falcon skin, and you can.
Yeah, that's what
you
it's,
can look at my
it's the
Captain America
worst.
skin.
I bought both of them. To be fair,
Did you buy both of them so you
Homo.
wouldn't miss out?
Almost.
yeah,
So
because
yes.
after I missed the Tokusatsu Soldier 76 skin that Mark lauds over me every time we play Overwatch, I will never do that again. But also I liked both characters. I play a nice amount of Hawkeye, but
The Hawkeye skin is sick, dude.
to be fair, like
I wish
they
I
had
bought
a
it.
timer from day one. Those are tied to the season 0 story, so I kind of get that.
I don't.
But it's
Please
still
explain.
season 0.
Ken's goes, I don't.
No, I don't get it. How is that more acceptable because it's tied to a seasonal story? Would you pay money for it? So here's what I think would be okay is if you did if it was like the Jeff skin, right? Or if it was like something like if the Jeff skin never comes back until next Christmas or never again, I'm fine with that because it's like you earned it. Like you did a thing in the season, and so if they had these seasonal skins as like, yeah, we're going to make them go away, but they are a part of the seasonal story versus like, hey, you didn't pay us money. That sucks. See you never. That's just it doesn't feel good at all.
I don't feel like these will be gone forever.
Yeah, I don't
They're
either.
just-
I think they're gonna.
You're going in the Disney vault. That's where they're going.
So that when they come back, you're even more inclined
my
to spend
Lion
money
King
because you
2.
For a
know it's
limited
all-
time, 5
Yeah.
days
It's,
only.
it's Pink Mercy. Let's
It's
be real.
so
Like,
scummy, man. I don't like it at all. This is
But-
like one of the
I
Isn't
think
this
that's
part-
super interesting?
Isn't
It's
it-
such a
It's par
Go
for the
ahead.
course for these games, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
Fortnite does it
It is.
all
Fortnite
the
does it,
time.
yeah.
Like, this is how these games run, man. Like, it just is
So-
what it is.
like.
I hate that it is
let
what
me-
it is though.
I just want to question
it
because
doesn't have to be.
I want to understand because for me it's like I don't like if I didn't want the skin, like I don't want the big Thor skin that they keep discounting. Like it's like up to 40% off now or something, and it's just like I'm not gonna buy it. It doesn't affect me. So is this just because it feels? Is it because of like a certain feeling you have about these characters, these skins, or just the practice and feeling that it is like kind of predatory?
The second one, yeah. I don't really want either of them. It's just the idea, like the model, is what bothers me.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yep. So that's where we
Kinda-
are. That's where we are.
On the
with,
other side of that,
store.
I
Yeah, go
do
ahead.
have a thing about limited. As someone who hasn't played in the last few days, I like to go in and see that the daily missions, they keep going. I don't know if it's infinite. There must be some sort of maximum. And Ken's, you probably hit it not playing for a week, but like you can still do yesterday's daily missions
Yes.
today or the next day. And then so I'm going to play a couple games after the show here, and I'm going to get all those kind of checked
know what,
out
Neil?
all at once.
That's a great point because that was something I would hate, like in Overwatch or whatever. Like if you didn't do them, you were just like,
Yeah.
I just missed out on a day
gone.
where here they stack, yeah, and you see that. which is awesome. And then it'll tell you like when the next ones will unlock, and it'll tell you how long they're available for. Like, yes, that's cool. It is.
And
really cool.
sometimes they're the same, so you
yeah,
can do 2 sprays,
Double
and knock out
dipping.
3 missions at once.
Well, Kens, maybe you'll like this. If everybody logged in this week, you might have seen NetEase sent us all emails. They want us to become
Loot
part
boxes.
of their NetEase Gamer Premium program. So yeah, if you logged in this week, you probably got this. I think in consoles it was probably a little bit more difficult because it probably had to open the web browser, which is always a pain in the ass. But on PC, it brought us just right to the web browser. And essentially what this is it's some sort of, I'm going to say like a club for the players if you want. And essentially it puts you on their mailing list. But they're promising that it's going to give you things like exclusive events. So maybe some titles in games, skins, possibly nameplates, things like that. So we don't know exactly what's going to be coming with this, but it seems like they've done this for some of their other games, NetEase has. So all they've said is that there are things coming soon, but I'm sure it's just a way to get everybody on the mailing list. But hey, you might be getting some free stuff in game. So, and yes, it is free. So just go ahead and sign up for it. All I had to do was literally give them my email. So I did it. I mean, you guys all did it, right? Or at least Matt, I know you did.
Oh yeah.
I have not yet, but I did do a good job of like exclusive invitation. I'm like, ooh, they like me. They like the way I'm playing. Oh,
You've been
I've
selected
become a
to apply
member.
for a Venmo credit card.
Oh, wait, I'm
Whoa,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Neil. We only heard you were the only one that got it, Neil. You got
Yeah.
the exclusive
Special.
email.
Getting my membership card coming. I'll getting the
that's
lapel
funny.
pin. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
it might
be
not
honest.
come from a while, given the mail situation up there.
They
Hey,
almost had me too,
Connect-
Neil, because I
Connect
thought that too. I
Corner.
was like, "What? Why is it? What is this? Is it because of the amount of
Yeah.
time I've played? Like, what is this?" It's funny.
Happy to report that our mail is back running.
go.
So
Nice.
they
As the
figured it
gamers
out.
say, we are so back.
Finally, here in news this week, we had issue 2 of the Marvel Rivals Infinity comic come out, and I just want everybody's thoughts on it and tell me why Hulk punching Jeff was the greatest part of this comic series so far.
I was
Go,
so
Matt.
sad.
Mark, I feel like you have a lot of displaced anger. And you need a healthy outlet outside of this game. I know you run. I feel like you might need to, I know it's cold.
Run more.
I feel like you might need to burn off some of that energy.
I ran this
You
morning.
might find yourself like at a more level place.
We should get as soon as they have like a larger, like a squishmallow, like Jeff,
Dude,
just
punch
give it to
it.
Mark, and he can just punch
Yes.
it all day, and
There
in that'll take care of it.
We'll do Brotherhood of the Traveling Jeff and just send the Jeff to each other.
I will say the Jeff Winter Celebration did not help me feeling
Right.
violent towards Jeff, so that didn't help
Mhm.
much.
Mhm.
But he is cute.
So
He's
you hate happiness and joy. Okay, got it. I actually did not read this because I have not signed up for Marvel, re-signed up for Marvel Unlimited yet. So I am not the one.
It's pretty good. I read it. It's par for the course for the other one.
I like this
Yeah.
issue better than the first one. We got a little bit more of a story.
Why,
happening here.
Mark? Why? Tell
Well,
us.
I already said why, but also, hey, where Jeff ends up at the end, he ends up with Namor in an arcade in Tokyo 2099,
Yeah.
and Jeff starts showing his teeth. I think Jeff's getting ready to get a little
yeah?
feisty, so we'll see kind of what happens. I might like that Jeff better than the other Jeff, so we'll see.
So we'll get into it a little bit when we get to the war, but apparently Jeff was Jeff like taken by the collector, and like that's kind of where was he just like on display in nowhere or something before all this went
so.
down. And this is kind of like he was taken into the Chronoverse or whatever, and this is kind of his first like hoorah, and then he gets like smashed in the face by Hulk, and
His
hangs out
first
with Namor.
rah-rah.
He gets like backhanded by Hulk almost.
Yeah.
It's just like
Oh yeah.
crazy.
I feel like they saw your video, Mark, of you using them all Hulk ults on it. So you should get your piece of the pie here.
And you know
See,
why?
It's easy to pick on the little guy.
Yeah, but you know what? You know why Hulk does it? He says, he's like, why is this shark spraying water all over me? And then he just backhands him, sends him. That's what he does. That's the frame. Like he gets all mad. He turns into Hulk. I think he's getting ready to fight. I forget who it is, like Penny or somebody. And then what's his face? Or Luna. I think he was going to fight Luna. And Jeff just sprays water all over him, so he's pissed. He's like, "What is this?" And he just
He was trying
sends
to
him
heal
flying.
you, buddy.
But yeah,
I think it's great. I'm getting into these Infinity comics. I started to read the Venom one this week too. I think a part of it is made for phones, easier to read than like a digitized version of a real comic book. You're not doing that weird zoomed view to try and read the letters, and it's just kind of quick little things too. And I think I read somewhere this is a 6-issue limited run, so we should get 4 more.
Ooh, the perfect size for a trade.
cool. Yeah,
Look
that's
forward
exactly
to
why
them.
they did it, Matt. That's why they did. That's funny.
It's gonna be like one of those fold-out maps. Like you get,
Yeah, how do they make a
yeah,
trade out of
not
an
a
Infinity
typical
comic?
trade.
That's what they did. They the
There's a
copies of
scroll.
the-
It's a scroll.
If it's Jeff
Oh, that'd
that I
be
have,
epic.
there are some natural points where they can cut it.
Does it say continued top right?
No.
That would be funny, dude.
Well, that's great. I'm excited to keep going. They stayed with it's a Tokyo 99. They were really focusing on that kind of portion of it so far, but we'll see if they get into kind of the other areas of the game.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to be it for the news. Let's move on to our lore segment that we call the Cerebro Files. All right. Well, it's a good thing to kind of, I guess, hit this up here just after we talked about that Rivals comic, because this week we are talking about the Doom's Rise lore, which is kind of the current lore in the game right now. So far to this point, we've spotlighted different characters. But this week, we are talking about Doom's Rise. And I know, Neil, you've taken a bunch of notes. Matt, you got some notes as well? and all that?
I was starting to take notes and I saw that Neil was popping off. So like I'm
He's
I'm
got it
happy
taken
to,
care of.
throw the baton north.
So Neil, we will throw it to you, man. Give us that Doom's Rise lore, man. What you got?
Yeah, so this week, or it might have been in time of last week, they finished up the time-locked in-game event called the Entangled Moments, and this allowed us to finish off the first issue, I guess they call it, within your collection of all the little story pieces they're drip feeding you through the game as you unlock achievements and as you do those missions. Kind of, they had specific missions for each section. So I'll kind of run through each of the episodes, we'll call them, in that first book, because there were a bunch of part of that Entangled Moments, but then there were a couple other ones that came through here. So what they've kind of released from date. So we'll start with the first episode, Let There Be Rivals, and I think this was just unlocked as soon as the game launched, and it is a couple of journal entries, one from the present Doom, and it had the launch date as the entry title. So this is really happening right now. This is the multiverse, and in this universe, Earth 616, present Doom has figured out how to mess with time and space and creating these chronoverses. And then at the same time, you have an entry from 2099 Doom saying that the Doom from the past is an idiot and he's ruined everything. So that's kind of what kicked off our season here, Doom's Rise.
I love that. Reading that. I did read that earlier today, and it was funny hearing the 2099 Doom. He was just like, basically literally calling him an idiot, just saying like, there was that other Doom, but I'm the right Doom, and I know what's going on. And he even says like, I'm gonna call these Chronoverses because I can. Like, I get to name these things. He says so. Like, the reason we have these Chronoverses or that name is because the 2099 Doom just decided that's what we're gonna call him, because that's
the
what I'm gonna
doomiest
call it.
Doom thing ever.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. I'm excited to see kind of where this goes. The kind of 4 different timeline chronoverses. We talked about it before in previous episode, but there's the 2099, the techno dystopia. That's where that future Doom, we'll call him, is. Present day, called Evil Strikes. So that's the normal present day. Mosaic, unstable space time, so that's when you get stuff flying in the air on some of those maps. And then you have the collapsing timeline where gods can die. So that's kind of what they've released so far. We'll see with the new season if it's another timeline or how that's going to work, but I'm excited to see how that goes. The next episode here was called Your Biggest Fan, and this was unlocked by doing a bunch of the Galacta's achievement section. It's part of, if you go on your player profile achievements, there's one section that's kind of about intro to the game, do all these things, add some friends, and do some stuff on the maps, learn, and then it'll unlock this one. This is it's kind of like shows the playfulness side of the game. It's an introduction to the Galacta, which is the daughter of Galactus. She talks about, sorry about my dad. He's eating worlds all the time. I kind of know where he's coming from because I got that hunger too.
He's so crazy.
I like to enjoy some chronovium instead, which is like a byproduct of time space or something like that. So she's not actually destroying worlds. And she actually, with this event happening, she wants to help things keep existing. So they're playing her as a good guy, she wants to help everybody, and she wants things to get fixed, but saying that she's not doing much about it, but she loves to watch everybody fight each other while she eats her chronovium popcorn.
So she's complicit.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this is happening. I wish it wasn't, but wow, look at all these sweaty bronze matches that these guys are playing. So.
Isn't the chronovium, isn't that with the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda on that map? Isn't that one of the things that Shuri is investigating, or am I just kind of making that up? For some reason,
that's chronovibranium.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Okay.
So they called it something different. I have no idea what the difference is.
Yeah, Mark, you're talking about the luxury battle pass, not the battle luxury.
Oh,
luxury
right, with
pass.
the lattices. Yep, gotcha.
Is chronovium, is that something that like Iron Man and Doctor Strange are fighting about? Did you read anything about that?
She didn't mention it, but it could be. It's some sort of byproduct of time space crossing over.
Is that in the team up story?
This stuff comes out. Oh, team up storyline, you're saying, Matt?
Yeah, is that in? Because I haven't read those.
It might be. Those are in there.
Could be. There is a lot. By the way. Yeah, so part of that is each character has, and I opened them all. I didn't read them all because there is a lot.
Because of
each character has their own lore story. And maybe we can go through those one at a time as we keep going through the roster, and we can kind of talk about each character and how they got into which timeline they come from and kind of what their background is in that, because it is quite a bit. Some of them are longer than these episodes here.
Great.
So moving along. So now those were the two that were kind of outside our season 0 Entangled Moments missions that you unlock via quests. And how they did these quests was play on a certain map, use certain heroes, and they each kind of aligned with one of these episodes. So our first episode was called Family Affairs. These missions were all about playing on the Asgard maps, or the Yggdrasil, Asgard maps. So this one kind of talks about, it's more of the fun side too. There's a character called Ratatoskr. He's a squirrel messenger. And he's kind of like, oh, help us, because Yggdrasil has merged with Asgard, and Odin went to sleep. Loki took over. Thor is gone. Please help me. I'm just a squirrel.
I'm just a little guy.
And he said that about 3 or 4 times. He's just like, I am but mere a squirrel, remember? So I thought that was awesome. Fun to read. So Loki's I don't know if he had anything to do with Odin going to sleep, probably. And Hela is supporting him. He seems to think that Hela is probably the mastermind behind it all, but Loki's taking the face of it. And between the two of them, they banish Thor to a distant dimension. So he's not there to save the day. So he's hoping some people through the crossover will come and take care of it. But I'm interesting now that you brought that up, Matt, to see what that team up between Hela, Loki, and Thor is, and why they're working together now. Why Hela is giving Thor other life or bonus health, depending on what his data is when she's getting headshots.
Narratively, it'd be interesting if she only meant to do it for Loki, but since Loki technically isn't, blood family,
is that true?
Also became available to Thor because he is blood family.
Oh, so it's not intentional, but it happens anyway.
Right. He just kind of takes advantage of it while it was actually just meant to be for Loki. I think that'd be a cool explanation.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll have to dive in and see, but that's a good theory. So that's the first kind of episode. Play on your Asgard maps, play with Loki and Hela and all that, get the damage, and you unlock that one. It's got some cool art with each of these episodes too that they throw into the comic books, and you don't actually read them from the comic book screen. You press another button and it opens up like a big wall of text that kind of gets these stories through. The next one, Web Warriors. So this dives into the 2099 stuff that the Infinity Comics are going into now. Something I like too is each of these are kind of written from somebody's perspective, rather than just like saying what exactly is happening. It's what this person is seeing, right? So that's a cool way to do. So this one's from Spidey. And he's like, I was just swinging around New York doing my thing. Spider-Zero came by and asked him to go through this big portal and basically forced him to, and this is present day Spidey, and he got transported to Tokyo 2099. And this we kind of see again in that Affinity Comics where he's teaming up with Penny Parker. There's a Mohawk Spider-Man, which I don't think we have a skin for.
It was in the alpha and beta, but it's not in game.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Right now.
Yeah.
Hobie Brown.
It's like Spider-Punk.
Yeah, Spider-Punk.
Yeah. And he's like, he's so much cooler than I am. And the paper bag Spider-Man, we do have that one. And then also Spider-Zero. So they're kind of this team that's trying to get together. Spider-Zero is concerned about the multiverse. There was a rift that opened up that's shredding the web of life and destiny, which is like the wife web. And so she's concerned about that. And that's a whole nother story. We'll probably get that on a lore segment of what that is. But her thought is we need to stop the rift and close it. And so I got to go through these different dimensions and gather all these Peter Parkers or Spider-Men. And we're going to call ourselves the Web Warriors. And they are working against the Master Weaver, who wants to use that energy to strengthen the web rather than shut it down. So Master Weaver has banished Spider-Zero and all of her allies, and now that's kind of the story setup for that Tokyo 99 map where you're pushing with Spider-Zero to get to that Spider Master Weaver house or whatever it is.
He's so cool too when you look up and you kind of see him up there. Like sitting there. It's pretty sweet.
And there's two different maps, right? And you're pushing the same thing and going to a similar place.
Yeah, I mean, even the Conquest map too is 2099. So I mean, you're not pushing anything there, but you're in Tokyo,
right.
2099.
It's a very similar storyline to Spider-Geddon in the comics. If anybody's read that,
yes,
really good story and really cool. That's kind of they had a quick tangent. Marvel had a cool contest where you could enter your Spider-Sona, and they picked like a you to win, and so they drew you into the comic.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
They were like, we want all these different takes on spider totems, spider people, and our spider characters, because not all were people. So
that's awesome.
I think that'd be cool to if Rivals did something like that, like do a contest where you could submit art, and then in like a future Tokyo 99 map, they have maybe not like playable characters, but like in artwork or somewhere in the scene.
NPCs or splash
Poster.
art on the side, posters. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
wanted.
awesome. Yeah, cool. So yeah, that was the Web Warriors kind of set up for after you were playing those Tokyo 99 maps, using the spider characters, unlocking those ones. Next was Blind Devotion, and this is centered around Black Panther and Wakanda. And this was pretty cool. It's talking about how King T'Challa is having a hard time reaching Bast, the Wakanda Panther goddess that he met during his fever dream, eating that mushrooms or whatever he was munching on. And so he goes into the spirit realm and cannot find them still. And they kind of said, oh, well, he is having a hard time focusing and meditating in his real world. He throws on a blindfold. So he tried to do that in the spirit dimension. And then Bast starts talking to him. He's like, where you've been? I'm wondering what's going on. They're just like, yeah, I'm worried about your allegiance to me. Tell me that you'll follow me no matter what. But then T'Challa's hearing like, oh, okay, something's kind of going wrong. I don't know if I believe you. Sensing some corruption, because before that, you kind of talk about Shuri's worried about the corruption in Bast, so we want to talk to it and figure it out. And so Black Panther goes in, he finds that there is some corruption going on, and wants to help Bast be rid of the corruption, and basically tries to save them, but ends up waking up and leaves the dimension, and goes on to say like, I will help save you, kind of at the end there. So he's worried about Bast and wants to get rid of that corruption.
We gotta
Which is
find
probably no.
like the text for this for everybody to read, because this was by far, I think, the best written one. They were all fantastic, but like the way that it describes when T'Challa puts on the blindfold, like he's using all his other senses besides sight to sense Bast, and he's like, it talks about like the movements seem foreign, her voice and the timbre of her voice sounds different. It sound like the intent behind her voice sounds more sinister. Just the way it describes it, and he's sitting there in this dream state with the blindfold on, just subjecting himself to this full on like Black Panther Spidey sense going off the entire time. It was such a good read.
That would be a sick skin, dude. Black Panther with the blindfold on would be pretty sick.
This would be a sick comic, or even just like a short prose novel. Like, so good.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I'll come up here again in a couple episodes here. So that story's not over yet.
Yeah.
Next one is kind of Hydra's Hymn. This went back to kind of the comedic side of things a little bit. This was told between two workers of Hydra, and he's like, oh, it's me, Stan, I'm here. And they're like, no, what's your employee number and all this. And so they're two scientists that got stationed up at the Arctic Charteris base, where that map is. We play the domination mode in. Is it domination? The point capture. And they're kind of talking about, the kind of work stuff, two people working together, what they're chit-chatting about. Oh, did you hear Winter Soldier tried to break in? Oh, yeah, and he was captured, and they were going to move him to the Super Soldier lab. But then the people from the occult ops said, no, he's not going there. He's coming to us. We need him to open a portal to Maveth, which is a dead planet on the other side of the universe.
Oh,
and then they kind of have some back and forth, them being scientists. One of the guys like, oh, you actually believe in the occult stuff? Like, you think they're going to open portals? There's no scientific basis on this. Like, you're a scientist. He's like, no, I believe in it. They're doing it all. And then it kind of breaks with, oh, did you hear they got hot cocoa in the break room? Yeah, let's go get some.
It's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty fun. And it kind of got into that timeline of it. I don't know which timeline that Hydra base is in, but I'm feeling like it could be one of those god ones. This was the one where they were they've got all the Cthulhu looking stuff on the walls, and we think that we had some discussion on that on a previous episode of what all that means. So this kind of sets that up for some Winter Soldier being the key to open this portal to Maveth, which may be a new map coming up. So we'll see.
And so this is actually an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show reference, holler holler, to anybody who watched, that they've kind of adopted into the comic continuity, the planet Maveth. So
That's cool.
Knowing what I know about the show will be very interesting to see what
They take
is
from
forthcoming. Don't spoil yourself. I hear click clacking. Don't look it up.
Don't do it.
It's some sick spoilers.
Oh, cool. No, I never watched that show. But you said good things about it in the past. That's neat. So yeah, we'll see what happens there if Winter Soldiers open this portal and what kind of comes out of it. But cool to get some background on the Hydra base map there. And then the last episode of Gods and Guardians. So this was told in the form of private log from Shuri. The first one kind of talks about so Orisha. I don't know if it's some sort of colony, like space colony. I don't know if anyone has any background on what exactly they are, but
the Orisha is like the African pantheon of gods, basically.
Oh, okay. So would Bast be part of that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they've basically abandoned them. They haven't heard from any of them, and she's worried that Bast has been corrupted. Starts talking about, so it's kind of the other side of the T'Challa story, that T'Challa can't commune with them. I've had some visions and they're corrupted, and I'm worried about it. It didn't say that he went in and found the truth yet, so this is kind of maybe happening at the same time as T'Challa going into his fever dream there. And so, but Shuri's working on, what's going on with the time streams. I need to look at this Chronovium and the Chrono Vibranium, what these are coming out of it, which are two different things. One's the popcorn that Galacta eats, and one it'll seem like souped up vibranium, which hopefully she makes
up with a prescription.
Yeah, take a couple of these and you're fine. So we'll see what happens with that. And she's like, okay, well, I feel like we need some help here. So she had called the Guardians of the Galaxy as she saw or news of some dark energy coming from Clintar. So she's like, hey, Guardians, check out Clintar.
What could it
There's
be?
bad stuff going on there. So they agreed and they went, and the Milano ship crashed. And I think we talked about this a little bit on the preseason launch. We knew that this kind of came up. So since they've crashed, she's not getting help from the gods. She needs to take the matter into her own hands. So I think it's a setup. Sure, he's going to be in season 2, maybe, or we'll see. So it kind of made it sound like that. Like, okay, I got to go to Clintar, got to figure out what's going on. So we had that the Null kind of teaser in one of the what was it, the launch trailer or something?
Yeah, it was a launch trailer.
Yeah, he was kind of shown there. We've got the Clintar map that's going on there, and now Shuri says she has to go to Clintar. So if they're continuing the Clintar story, I feel like Shuri's going to be one of the next characters coming out.
Strategist, right? I would think.
I
would think so. Right?
Yeah.
I think what I love, especially about this like Wakanda Empire storyline, is the involvement of the Orisha and this like tangible connection to like their gods. Because you think about it, the Norse gods like Thor, Loki, Odin, they are their physical manifestations.
Right, they're the gods.
And
Greek
it's
gods
just
too.
right. totally. And so it's just cool to see how it's not, what's the word? It hasn't become like mundane, because I can very much see Shuri being a woman of science. I don't know. It's difficult in the comics, I guess, because you literally are seeing gods, there, and having to balance that with reason and science or whatever. But it's such a rich like background to pull from. If there's a lot of different takes on the Orisha in like science fiction and fantasy, especially like Afrofuturism, which we talked about, like we touched on in a past episode, but like Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, it's a great like book trilogy if anybody is interested.
Cool.
Does a great job talking about that. And I would think it would be cool to see a character almost kind of like a cleric from D&D, who, or even like a warlock, kind of like a cross between those, who their powers are just basically importuning these different gods.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah,
because we see those map effects.
Well, I was just gonna say that is their representation
right
in the game with game mechanics. The Orisha are the gods who like enact their
firestorm.
Yeah, the firestorm that comes down, or any of those things that happen.
The wind.
I cast fireball. I make everyone fly.
Fireball.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happens. Yeah.
So you see those in game, which is kind of cool. And I do want to give credit to Neil for reading all of that with the reindeer hood on the whole time. So if you watch the video, that was amazing as he did that.
Yeah, and that brings us to the end of season 0. I'm excited for the new season to come out, see if they do these. I'm sure there's going to be something similar there. I've already got it set up as like future issue. Who knows what's going on? And then being longer, maybe it's the same cadence and there's just more of it.
Yeah,
it was every like 3 days. They went by pretty quick. It was over in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was every 48 hours. I think is when one unlocked.
Yeah,
and you had to do. I mean, the only thing that sucked was, what was it? I'm trying to think back. It was either Clintar wouldn't come up for a while.
Yeah,
and then finally when I got that, it was like I couldn't get a win on Hydra, like the Hydra base. It like took forever for that to happen. But
yeah, I think you could get them in the AI matches, and that's how I got my second one.
Yeah, that's how I got the Hydra one.
One of the fun ones that they had was the team up. It's like forcing you to use team ups and then get knockouts with the team up abilities. So it's like helping you learn the characters too. Like there's a few characters I've only played because that was the mission.
I will not play Psylocke again. Like I am sorry. I played Psylocke in the oh my gosh, what is it? The AI mode and the other one.
The deathmatch mode, whatever that is.
The deathmatch.
Yeah. Conquest.
Conquest.
Thank you. Conquest. And I was just like, no, I'm good.
Well, hey, whatever works, man. Whatever works. Well, we are going to be doing some more lore, of course, on the next episode. And we got a message from CBabs, and they said, can you do a Doctor Strange episode? Well, CBabs, we can definitely do a Doctor Strange episode. So next time here on the show, we will be talking Doctor Strange. And I know this is one of Matt's favorite.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
Favorite characters, for sure. So
I like to dig into that strange skin with the scalpel that cuts through time.
I'll be bringing some good comic recommendations because recently Doctor Strange comics have been popping off.
I have the physical copy of that. I may try to find it, show it off.
Cool.
Somewhere.
Nice.
That sounded amazing.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that in the next episode. But all right, guys, let's move on here to our final segment, the part of the show where we get you involved, that we call our what ifs. All right, well, if you want to be involved here on the show, remember you can send us an email to rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com, or you can leave us one of our tens of comments over on Spotify. Tanjaman10 on Spotify said, this comment might get lost in all the tens of comments, but I have appreciated the episodes. Keep it up, guys. TJ Kitchener said, oh boy, new podcast for my hyperfixation. And Nathan said, I love this podcast. You guys are hilarious. So thank you guys for sending those comments in. Yeah, we love seeing that. Let's see. Sprink268 over on Blue Sky said, love the podcast. I'm new to third-person shooters. Are there any tips you can give to us rookies that are trying to get better? Thanks again for a great podcast. I'm really glad I found you guys. So any tips?
Take it away, our gold player, Mark.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
I mean,
overqualified.
the one thing I would say, especially if, I don't know, Sprink268, if you've played first-person shooters a lot, but like it in those games, using cover and learning to peek around corners, it's a little bit different playing a third person. So you really you can still use that same strategy. It's just, I think, almost more important because it's harder to see whether someone would have line of sight on you or not. Luckily, I think Rivals, they've kind of found the perfect balance of not necessarily being over the shoulder for some of the characters, but you're just in the right sweet spot where you can, but always use your corners. Always look at line of sight. That's one of the biggest things. I actually was watching the tournament today, and one whole team, like right in the beginning of one of the Tokyo 2099 ones, the one where I think you immediately push the payload right from the very beginning. It's not the capture the point one, but right where you push it right away. The team that was on defense was all like set up on the buildings. And the Iron Man, they had the camera locked on him. He blew the roof off, one of them, but then was just low enough, and he kept like popping up. Pop up above the roof, shoot, dip down. So he had the cadence where he was just constantly able to hide just enough where even if the other team, I don't know if they had a Hawkeye, but they might have had like a Hella, couldn't even see him because the minute he popped up, he was able to just kind of shoot that, repulsor off real quick. So definitely use cover. I think it's one of the biggest things.
I think that's a big thing here since you can actually see your behind cover. You try and use it in first person, but a lot of the time you're like, how did you get me? He was behind cover. But then you see the kill cam, you're like, okay, well, my body right there. I see that.
Yes.
And another thing, I don't know if this is because it's third person or not, but I've seen a couple things on it online, is that because you're a third person view, the way that it aims, the hitbox skews to the right of the player. So if you're going to aim to the right side because the hitbox is more into that than on the left side of the characters. You can try that out in the practice range, but I thought that was very weird. You shoot right beside Hulk's head on the left side, you don't make any hits, but if you are the same distance away on the right side of him, you are hitting headshots.
That's one thing too. In this, I don't even know too if this is just because it's third person, but a lot of the abilities in the game, or even just your regular standard attacks, you kind of got to lead the people, like shoot where they're going to be, not where they are. Like
Their
that's one thing.
Projectile versus hit scan.
Yeah, it's
I would build on that I guess as advice to look at or mess around with your sensitivity settings, like your your aiming sensitivity. I know that for myself, like playing third person, I like a little bit slower in third person than I do in first person. And so mess around with that, figure out what feels right in like an AI match or something.
One quick tip I did learn today, this is character specific, is when you're in the Punisher turret, you actually don't have to shoot the characters, shoot at their feet, because it actually does splash damage, the turret, which is crazy. And it does just as much damage shooting at the ground at their feet than aiming at them. Whoa. So just shoot at their feet. Yeah, it was actually watching the tournament. One of the casters said that. He said
dance, monkey dance.
I was like, wow. And I tried it. I played this afternoon, and sure enough, it was like there was a Hulk running around. I was just shooting at his feet. Didn't even have to hit him. And I just melted him.
There's a modification, not a modification. It's like a sensitivity settings switch that is going around on TikTok right now, which I haven't actually seen played in a match, but I've heard mixed feedback on it. It's with Luna Snow, where if you go in and change her ult, I don't know what it is on PC, but reassigning the switch from damage to buff to your scroll wheel and just spamming back and forth on that while you ult, that you can do both. I don't know if that's completely true. And I've seen some people say that it's not as effective as others would think, but it's being hailed as this huge like hack or whatever.
Yeah. I've seen that too. Some streamers playing and they just like switch. I feel like if your team's taking alts or whatever, you probably want to stick on the healing section of it. But I'm doing it now. I don't know if it's better or worse, but monkey see, monkey do.
That's funny. Let's see. We got another one here. This one comes to us from Karma, and he says, "What maps do you want to see next?" I mean, for me, I think I said it before. Definitely a New York map I think would be awesome. But the more I think about it, and last week we talked where we had our first Danger Room segment. I think I'd like to see the Danger Room and how we see these maps change. I think it would be cool to have the Danger Room and have it literally as you're playing completely change. Like you're literally, because that's what the Danger Room is, right? For the X-Men, they go in there and it's just it's whatever they're
it's like the holodeck
training. And yeah, exactly. Like I think that would be super cool if they're able to kind of do that. And even maybe you're in it 1 minute and it's a whole different setup, and then it suddenly changes to like Tokyo 2099 for like 2 minutes, and then like switches back. Like it's just constantly shifting. And maybe that would be a map that wouldn't even be like a payload map or domination or whatever. It could just be a conquest, like a new conquest map. So this way, it's more just like a brawl in there, and it's just straight up just Danger Room.
I played a bunch of Super Smash Bros. Whatever the last one is, and they had a version that you could play, and it's like swap a bunch of maps, yes, and you'd be playing, and in the middle of the map, it will switch to another stage, I guess they call them in that game. But it was awesome. I loved it, and you got to see more of the stages more of the time.
Yeah,
I think another mechanic that you could do that with is like borrowing from the MCU's Doctor Strange. If you're in like the Sanctum Sanctorum, and that scene where he has those portals basically, and he fights the bad guys and throws them through one of the portals, and he ends up in the desert.
Oh,
maybe
yes.
you're going through the Sanctum
That would be
Sanctorum,
cool.
and
Just
depending
different
on the
random
room
places.
you go in, it's like a different room or a different map, and you have to stay there for X amount of time until you can trigger like the environmental change to get out of the room to go somewhere else or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I know we've all talked about maps that we want before. I'm trying to think of like something more like original off the top of my head. I think something like actually in space would be cool, with some kind of mechanic where it's like maybe it's like Asteroid M.
Dude.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind.
And it's like the base is coming apart, and so it's kind of like think the storm in Fortnite. Your playing area is getting smaller. The ship is coming apart. It's destructible. It's not coming back together, and so like your playing area is super small to where in the end, it's that 6v6 in a very small area, and you're just like.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
Let's see. We got another one here. One more here. This comes to us from Jiva Viri, who I believe is over in the chat right now as we're doing this here live on Twitch. Jiva Viri. They say, I'm too lazy to go through the entire episode again, but did you guys mention having a faction in game? Also, are you guys going to be making a Discord at all? Thanks again. So Jiva Viri, yes, we do have factions. I know Matt and Neil over on console are Stark Esports over there.
Yes.
On PC, I'm trying to remember what we are. I think if you search Rivals Assemble, or it was like RVLS Assemble, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
Yeah,
For sure. 100%.
100%. The only
I know
issue is,
your
Assemble.
short form's RA.
oh, okay, that's right. So I wish what they would do with these is like, I mean, I get it that it's supposed to be teams, but aren't they capped out at like 12?
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was just like a clan. Just let us get in there and have like 100 people or whatever it is. So that's kind of what sucks about these in the game right now is that, and
I think they want that synergy with the faction being like a competitive
a
team.
team. Yeah, I get
instead of less of clan.
Because you have to join those tournaments with your faction.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Correct.
And all of them have to be above silver.
Yep. And you have to be on same either console
To
or
compete,
PC.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can set different, like you could set a membership qualification for your faction. Like there's some people who are like, you can only be, what's the highest one? It's not unobtainium, whatever it is. It's like
Grandmaster.
that.
No, we're gonna go with that.
Top
I like
500.
that.
Unobtainium.
Yeah.
It's that
Chrono
that
Vibranium.
top one, and it's like you realize there's only one player that will be that rank, right?
Yeah.
I wish there were
And you
more
can only
like bands,
be-
though.
You can only be associated with
Eternal.
One, right?
It's eternal, is what it is.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
That
Kind of
somebody put that as like you have to be that level to join. It's like, bruh, you are not him.
But I wish there was the factions for the competitive, but then give us just like teams, like a superhero team or something like that, and then that's just a clan. You can run with that tag, just have it just to show you're part of that group.
The devs are listening. Who
I think it would
knows?
be neat. Hopefully they can do something like that. But all right. Well, that's going to be it, guys, here for episode 8. Again, if you want to reach out to us, rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter at rivalsassemblepod. Or I'm sorry, at rivalsassemble, and on Blue Sky as well. And if you want to send us a comment too, do it so over on Spotify. Leave us one of the tens of comments. Maybe we can get to tens of comments plus one over there if you want to leave it. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, leave us a review if you can on that platform. That kind of helps spotlight the show too as well. So any final thoughts here on the show, guys, for this episode? Because I will say we're getting close to the launch of season 1. I mean, could we next week possibly be talking about some details of what is coming in season 1 officially?
Surely, right? Gotta be.
Gotta
Yeah.
be soon, right?
So we, as a point of order, we don't talk about leaks. We don't share leaks or alleged leaks as well, because anybody can say anything. But there's a lot of content out there that, if it holds to be true, could make for a very, very exciting season 1 and beyond.
Yep.
So I'm very excited to see what's coming.
Ooh, hopefully we'll get some details soon on that. And, of course, we'll be breaking it down for you here on the podcast. So everybody here, thank you as always for tuning into the show. And until next time, we'll catch you later.
Go spray some Jeffs.
Take them out. All right.
Be their friends.
Jiva Veri, thanks, man, over in the chat for hanging out the whole episode, man. Appreciate it. See him over there in the chat.
Big fan.
Yeah.
He is all alone, all lonely in the chat.
There's somebody else in there for a minute.
Yeah, shout out Jakis Simba
Yeah.
and Jivaviri for the subs on Twitch. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Awesome. Good show, guys. It's fun.
Hour 41. I'm thinking like, this will be like an
Oh,
hour.
really?
Show,
Yeah, I thought this
almost
would be a
quick
short one.
episode.
That
Not.
was being short.
We can't do it.
No, it's impossible. Absolutely impossible for us to record a short one. All right, dude. Well, we're going to end the stream here, Jiva Viri. Thank you, man, again, and everybody else over in the chat. I see we got a couple people over there now. But yeah, the audio version of this will be out tomorrow, and of course the VOD is on YouTube and on Twitch. You can watch it